Yo, welcome back to WWTA News. So, been a minute back in there. Gonna drop a quick video. So check it out. Tokenized assets market could hit 16 trillion on public blockchains. Ripple X Vice President. Institutional investors, asset managers, and banks are racing to bring financial assets on chain in a market estimated to grow 16 trillion in value. Interesting, right? Nothing new here, is it? Traditional finance firms have warmed up to the idea of tokenizing financial assets on public blockchains as the race towards blockchain-based tokenization heats up. We've all kept watch on this. We are waiting to see, right? Mortgages, car loans, personal loans, particular types of documentation for the ownership of particular goods. This will help bring the assets right onto the blockchain. Why is this important? Because the assets are where the value is, right? The money, the value. So that's going to be major to the crypto space. So, interesting. But let's go ahead. According to RippleX Senior Vice President Marcus Infanger, I hope I didn't butcher that, but let's check this out first. All right, so Marcus. All right, I'm just going to use, I don't know if that's Infanger. I don't know. That, I should probably look that last name up and find out. That's interesting. Marcus joined Ripple in January 2019 and currently is the Senior Vice President of RippleX, a business unit supporting partnerships and developer growth around the XRP ledger. Prior to Ripple, Marcus was in banking for over 20 years, leading global teams in foreign exchange. He is currently also completing an executive MBA with Triumph. All right, so that's the guy relevant here. Okay, so according to Mark, that guy, the Senior Vice President, traditional finance players are finally bringing financial assets on chain as they look to deploy for production and solve pain points in various value chains. Hold that for a second. All right, jumping back in. Value chains, right? So what is a value chain? Definitions and characteristics. Value chain versus supply chain. A supply chain refers to the system and resources required to move a product or service from supplier to customer. The value chain concept builds on this to also consider the manner in which value is added along the chain, both to the product, service, and the actors involved. From a sustainability perspective, value chain has more appeal since it explicitly references internal and external stakeholders in the value creation process. It goes on to say it also encourages a full life cycle perspective and not just a focus on the upstream procurement of inputs. Value is generally used in a narrow economic sense, but it can be interpreted to encompass values, i.e., ethical and moral concerns, as well as other non-monetary utility values such as closing material loops, the provision of ecosystem services, and added customer values. It's like two sides of the coin looking there, right? World Business Council for Sustainable Development. Value chains are an integral part of strategic planning for many businesses today. A value chain refers to the full life cycle of a product or process, including material sourcing, production, consumption, and disposal recycling processes. Then it gives us some more here. You can see material extract, the logistics in the center. Material extraction, material processing, manufacturing, retail, use, disposal, and recycling. So you can keep tabs on all that stuff on the blockchain, right? The value chain. The value chain describes the full range of activities which are required to bring a product or service from conception through the different phases of production, involving a combination of physical transformation and the input of various producer services, delivery to final consumers, and final disposal after use. Considered in its general form, it takes the shape as described in Figure 1. As can be seen from the production per se is only one of a number of value-added links. Moreover, there are ranges of activities within each link of the chain. In the real world, of course, value chains are much more complex than this. For one thing, there tend to be many more links in the chain. In addition to the manifold links in a value chain, typically intermediary producers in particular value chain may feed into a number of different value chains. So the way we look at it is not the way the way I was looking at it is not the way they were looking at it. So this is I was looking at it wrong. But they're looking at the value chain of information being moved, basically. Information and goods, right? Information is attached to the goods, and so that's how you can keep track of everything, and that's what makes blockchain so important. But let's come back to where Mr. Marcus says trade finance players are finally bringing financial assets on chain as they look to deploy for production and solve pain points in various value chains. Speaking exclusively to Cointelegraph during the Paris Blockchain Week, Mr. Marks said that traditional finance's use of blockchain is finally becoming tangible. They can actually see it. They can use it. Interesting. Quote, we're starting a paradigm shift for blockchain technology, moving beyond the hype and into real utility. It's starting to unfold, Marcus said. Traditional finance wants holistic blockchain solutions. The executive said the research estimates pin the future value of tokenized markets at 16 trillion, which is 8 times bigger than what we see now at 2 trillion. So he can see from traditional finance bringing on their financial assets, right, onto the chain, which is what we've been waiting for. He can see 16 trillion automatically. He just sees 16 trillion. So it goes on to say, a couple of years ago, many of us in this space were envisioning that. It's getting closer to reality, and it's happening on public blockchains. At some point, it looked like it would only happen on JP Morgan Coin or IBM. Marcus said that advanced conversations with various financial institutions are ongoing, and they are exploring tokenization products to issue assets on the XRP ledger, right? It's right there. These firms already have distribution lined up and can articulate use cases and how they want to use the underlying blockchain. A tangible example of this was HSBC partnering with Ripple-owned technology firm Medico to allow institutional investors to hold tokenized securities on its new custody platform in November 2023. They did it in November 2023, right? They have turned securities into assets, i.e. tokenized, to get them on the blockchain. HSBC partnered with Ripple-owned technology firm Medico, right? So Ripple owns Medico. They worked together to produce tokenized securities, right? they made assets and put them on chain. Marcus added that Ripple's business is becoming more holistic by combining various solutions that make use of the XRP ledger. While Ripple is widely viewed as a payments first company, providing a blockchain based payment solution to solve economic and financial friction, recent developments are broadening its appeal to both traditional finance and decentralized finance. We have a custody arm, a payments arm, and our contributions to the XRP ledger. The combination is a holistic digital asset infrastructure value proposition for traditional finance and developers who want to solve the decentralized finance problems. It goes on to say Ripple's stablecoin. Ripple's recently announced plans to issue its own United States dollar pegged stablecoin on the XRPL ledger, and Ethereum will complement its offering to institutions. Cointelegraph previously spoke to Ripple Chief Technology Officer Mr. Schwartz about the details of the stablecoin. Marcus added further detail to the impetus behind Ripple's stablecoin, highlighting that the stablecoin market could reach 2.8 trillion in 5 years. That's just stablecoin. Given that there are some 22 trillion that are off chain. Now I'm wondering, did that mean 22 trillion stable coins, value of stable coins off chain? Interesting there. It says right now we're at 130 billion, so there's clear demand and there's an expected trajectory of enormous growth. We're really still at the early days, Marcus said. All right, so I'm gonna drop it right there. Interesting because stores will easily accept a stable coin, right? Like a stable dollar, something stable pegged to the dollar, because they know the value is not going to change by the end of the day. It's going to hold stable. So it's like, okay, if I go in the store and I make a payment with Bitcoin, while I'm sleeping, Bitcoin could drop, I don't know, $10,000 in value, right? So the amount that I have is going to change, right? But a stable coin, that's not how that works. A stable coin is going to hold stable its value. So for a store, they would love that, right? Because now their transactions become more efficient, faster, cheaper, and they don't have to do all that stuff through banks. Will they probably use banks? I don't know. Will banks evolve? I don't know. But that stable coin kind of kicks all that out the picture. So if you can get a stable coin that is, I would say, in my opinion, off XRP, right, then that stable coin will move in milliseconds, right? And those transactions will be happening, so fast throughout the day, and all of it will be kept on ledger. So for the stores, everything is 100. Their value is not going to change. So if they do that, that's a game changer. We could probably see, that same thing on like Stellar Lumens, because Stellar Lumens holds it like 11 cents, 12 cents or something. But if they made a dollar peg stable coin, then it's like, wow, okay, now that is moving over the system in milliseconds, and you're in and out of the store no problem. I mean, that's going to take the digital world of transactions to a whole nother level, because you don't want to be running on a slow network and then their process fails and you just trying to get out the store and go home. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's a pretty interesting story. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it.